Sunflower oil. The sunflower wasn't always the global staple it is today. It was first domesticated over 4,000 years ago by indigenous peoples in North America, long before it ever reached Europe. They used every part of the plant for food, dyes, medicine, and oil. But sunflower oil as we know it today didn't really take off until it reached Russia, where it became incredibly popular thanks to religious fasting rules that banned many other fats. By the 19th century, Russian farmers had bred sunflowers specifically for oil production, and from there, sunflower oil spread across the world. By the 20th century, especially in places like Russia and Ukraine, sunflower oil production exploded, eventually spreading across the globe as a cheap, mass-produced cooking fat. And here's where things start to shift. Unlike olive oil, sunflower oil isn't typically just pressed and done. Most of what you find in supermarkets is refined. That means the seeds are crushed, then blasted with high heat, chemically extracted using solvents like hexane, deodorized, and bleached to remove impurities. The result? A neutral-tasting oil that looks clean, but has been heavily altered. And the real problem begins when heat enters the picture. Sunflower oil is high in unsaturated fats, especially omega-6 fatty acids. In small amounts, your body needs these, but in excess, and especially when exposed to high temperatures, they become unstable. When you fry with sunflower oil, those delicate fats can oxidize, breaking down into harmful compounds. During industrial processing and repeated heating, sunflower oil can form translipids, the same bad lipids you get from frying with extra virgin olive oil. Flavor-wise, refined sunflower oil is about as neutral as it gets. It won't overpower your food, which is exactly why chefs use it for frying, baking, and anything where you don't want the oil to steal the spotlight. Today, sunflower oil is one of the most widely used cooking oils in the world. It shows up everywhere, especially across Eastern Europe and parts of Asia. Sesame oil. The discovery of sesame oil goes back thousands of years. Sesame seeds were first cultivated over 3,000 years ago in regions of Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley, making sesame one of the oldest oilseed crops in human history. Ancient civilizations prized it not just for food, but for medicine and rituals. In Hindu mythology, sesame seeds are considered symbols of immortality and are often used in sacred offerings. Interestingly, while the Mediterranean leaned heavily on olive oil, much of Asia built its culinary identity around sesame oil. Sesame oil is made by pressing sesame seeds, and just like with other oils, how it's processed changes everything. The highest quality comes from cold pressing mechanical extraction without heat or chemicals. This preserves nutrients and gives the oil a more distinct flavor. But most sesame oil used in everyday cooking is processed differently depending on the goal. Most are refined for a lighter taste and higher smoke point. If it smells strong the moment you open it, it's been heated, but if it barely smells and looks pale, it's likely pure and cold pressed. You can also look the label for terms like unrefined and pure. In terms of composition, sesame oil is almost entirely fat with no water content, which makes it stable. But flavor is the real difference. Sunflower oil is designed to stay invisible, clean, neutral, and versatile. Toasted sesame oil does the opposite. It's used in small amounts, often added at the end of cooking, to preserve its aroma rather than cooked aggressively. It's essential in many Asian cuisines, especially in China, Korea, and Japan, where just a drizzle can transform noodles and soups. Pumpkin seed oil. Pumpkin seed oil has deep roots in Central Europe, especially in regions like Styria. It's been produced for centuries and is often called green gold. Unlike mass-produced oils, it was traditionally a local specialty, carefully made from specific varieties of pumpkin, grown just for their seeds. These pumpkins were bred without hard shells, making the seeds easier to process. Over time, pumpkin seed oil became a cultural staple, used not just for cooking, but as a symbol of regional identity and pride. Pumpkin seed oil is extracted by pressing roasted pumpkin seeds, and that roasting step is what defines it. The seeds are ground into a paste, gently heated, and then pressed to release the oil. The result is a thick, dark oil with a deep green color that can even appear almost black in the bottle. Unlike sunflower oil, which is often refined to be neutral, pumpkin seed oil is all about flavor. The highest quality versions are minimally processed after roasting, with no chemical refining. That means they retain their natural compounds, giving them a rich aroma and a complex taste. Lower quality versions may be diluted or refined, which lightens both the color and the flavor, but also strips away what makes it special. Nutritionally, Pumpkin seed oil is rich in unsaturated fats and contains antioxidants and compounds like vitamin E. It's not solid at room temperature, but it's also not meant for high heat cooking. Heat it too much, and you lose its signature flavor and delicate nutrients. That's why it's almost never used for frying. In Austrian cuisine, it's famous for pairing with simple dishes like potato salad or even vanilla ice cream, where its slightly sweet flavor stands out. And here's a detail most people don't know. Real pumpkin seed oil from Styria has such a distinct identity that it's protected by designation laws in the European Union. Corn oil. Corn oil is supposed to be simple, a clean, neutral cooking oil. It comes from the germ of corn, a crop domesticated thousands of years ago in Mesoamerica. But corn oil isn't something people traditionally made at home. It only became widely available in the 20th century, when industrial processing made it possible to extract oil efficiently from corn kernels. Most corn oil you see today isn't just pressed, it's refined. The crude oil is extracted, then goes through degumming, neutralizing, bleaching, and deodorizing. This process strips out impurities and color, leaving behind a very light, almost invisible oil. Because it's so neutral, corn oil became incredibly popular in commercial kitchens and packaged foods. It has a relatively high smoke point, which makes it great for frying. And unlike more distinctive oils, it won't change the flavor of what you're cooking. Nutritionally, corn oil is high in polyunsaturated fats, especially omega-6 fatty acids. It also contains vitamin E, but like many refined oils, some beneficial compounds are reduced during processing. It's used for everything from deep frying to baking. It became a staple in American cooking during the rise of industrial food production, quietly powering an entire generation of convenience foods. Soybean oil. Soybean oil is one of the most widely used oils on Earth, but unlike other oils, it rarely gets attention for flavor or tradition. The soybean itself was first domesticated thousands of years ago in China, where it became a foundational crop used for tofu, soy sauce, and fermented foods. But soybean oil as a global cooking staple is surprisingly modern. It exploded in popularity during the 20th century when industrial food production needed a cheap, versatile, and stable vegetable oil. Most soybean oil today is heavily refined. Unlike aromatic oils like walnut or pumpkin seed oil, soybean oil is designed not to stand out. There are different forms of soybean oil depending on processing. Standard refined soybean oil is the most common, used in frying, baking, and packaged foods. Some versions are partially hydrogenated, a process that used to make the oil more stable, but also created trans fats, something that later became heavily criticized for health reasons. However, modern versions are often reformulated to avoid that issue. Flavor-wise, soybean oil is extremely mild. Because refined soybean oil has a high smoke point, it became one of the default oils for commercial kitchens around the world. In many ways, it became the background oil of modern industrial cooking. Chia seed oil. Chia seed oil has ancient roots in Central and South America. Long before it became associated with modern health trends, chia was already a prized crop among civilizations like the Aztec and the Maya civilization. The word chia comes from the Nahuatl word for oily, which tells you exactly how important these tiny seeds were. Chia seeds were eaten for energy and even offered as tribute to rulers. Most high-quality chia seed oil is cold-pressed, extracted mechanically without high heat or chemical refining. Chia oil is unusually rich in delicate omega-3 fats, especially alpha-linolenic acid, and those compounds are sensitive to heat and oxidation. This oil also has a place beyond cooking. Historically, chia held ritual importance in Mesoamerican cultures and was linked with endurance and strength. Today, chia seed oil is used both in food and in skincare because of its fatty acid profile and lightweight texture. Raw chia seed oil has a mild, grassy, slightly nutty flavor. Unlike heat-stable cooking oils, chia seed oil is fragile. That's why it's almost never used for deep frying or high-heat cooking. Instead, chia seed oil shines in cold applications. Because of its sensitivity, good chia oil is often sold in dark bottles and stored carefully to protect it from light and air. Perilla oil. Perilla seed oil is a foundational cooking oil in parts of East Asia. It has a deep nutty taste, a rich earthy aroma, and a dark golden color that stands out immediately. This oil also carries cultural importance beyond cooking. Traditional herbal medicine in East Asia also valued the perilla plant for digestion and respiratory health. Raw perilla seed oil has a strong roasted nuttiness that's much more pronounced than neutral oils like soybean or sunflower oil. Some versions are made from toasted seeds, giving the oil an even deeper smoky aroma that can instantly fill a room. But unlike highly refined oils built for industrial frying, perilla oil is relatively delicate because it's rich in omega-3 fats. When gently heated, its flavor softens into something warmer and almost buttery. Korean cooks often use it to finish soups and noodles, deliberately using moderate heat to preserve its aroma rather than destroy it. Hemp seed oil. For most of human history, hemp wasn't grown for getting high. It was grown because it was incredibly useful. Ancient civilizations in places like China cultivated hemp for oil. Hemp seed oil is very different from what most people think. It doesn't come from the psychoactive parts of the cannabis plant. The oil is pressed specifically from hemp seeds, which contain little to no THC. When those tiny seeds are mechanically cold pressed, they release a deep green oil with a surprisingly rich nutrient profile. Unlike heavily refined cooking oils, high-quality hemp seed oil is usually unrefined, which helps preserve its natural compounds and flavor. Nutritionally, hemp seed oil is known for its balance of fats. It contains omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in a ratio that's considered beneficial for human health. It's also rich in vitamin E and other antioxidants. But there's a catch. Because those delicate fats break down under high heat, hemp seed oil isn't ideal for frying or high-temperature cooking. It's mostly used over salads, blended into smoothies, or added to dips and dressings. Flavor-wise, hemp seed oil stands out immediately. And depending on how fresh the oil is, that flavor can range from mild and smooth to intensely earthy. Today, hemp seed oil has become especially popular in health-focused cooking and plant-based diets.